I do believe we are live, so I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again for, I think, a special day. I think it's pretty special. It's day 1444. I should ask. I have a language model that is trained on Alan Watts and Terence McKenna and Ram Dass and let's see if I can remember another one. Oh man, it's not in the description up top. Okay. 1444. What is the spiritual significance of this number? Let's see. The number 1444 carries a profound spiritual and symbolic significance as it blends the energies of its constituent digits and creates a powerful vibration. Is that Joe? It's definitely a special day. I like the color palette of stream today, right? This shirt is one of my favorites, even though it is in pieces at this point. I still do like it, and I do think today's flower is going to be beautiful. This is one of my new scarves. One of the scarves that Anne gave me. So I've been wearing them for the last 3 days to make some new works of art. So first, it's the number one, and then of course it's the number four. One represents new beginnings, individuality, leadership, and the spark of creation. It is the number of manifestation, reminding you of your ability to co-create with the universe. There's one upvote and one person in this stream with me right now as well. Four is associated with stability, foundation, and practicality. In spiritual terms, four represents four elements: earth, air, fire, and water, the four directions, and the building blocks of creation. With three fours, this energy is amplified, symbolizing divine support and a stable spiritual foundation. Angel number 1444 is a deeply reassuring number. It suggests that angels and guides or higher forces are working behind the scenes to support you. Specifically, the 444 is a sign that divine forces are guiding you and assuring that you are on the right path. It is often seen as a call to action, to trust in your spiritual journey. And one in this is leading the way, indicating that you are being encouraged to take initiative and step into your purpose with faith. The symbolism in spiritual practices, it is transformation and ascension. The number 1444 is often associated with spiritual transformation and the construction of a new spiritual home. It symbolizes stepping into your higher purpose while being supported by divine forces. Sacred geometry. If we view 1444 as 1 and 444, it also connects with the power of creation and the perfect balance of stability, representing the structure of the universe. Reducing the number, you get 4 as well, and the resulting 4 reinforces the theme of stability, foundation, and divine guidance. So the key takeaways, the key takeaways is build a stable foundation for a higher spiritual growth, or is about building a stable foundation for higher spiritual growth. I feel like we've been doing that, right? Consciously evolving, sharing these ideas, these messages as a means to build a foundation for us to continue growing spiritually, right? I think so, at least. It's so nice having you here, Xiao. I noticed the new scarves and second guessed myself out for asking if they were new. Appreciate the confirmation. Happy to let you know. It happened during the slapping competition, weirdly enough. I got scarves gifted to me at that event. I am grateful to have new scarves. I think now, something like 22 different scarves, all of which I didn't have to buy myself. And that's not me flexing, that's just me being like, that's, I think, the way it's supposed to be. Feels more pure that way. It feels like I can make art with gifted materials, right? Like I'm because like that's usually the case. I hope that's also clear. I think a few of my scarves have been bought specifically for me. I think Christian has bought me most of my scarves, and maybe Joy Vive too. But some of them, I'll say the majority of them, were already owned, and were just laying in a corner somewhere, and then people decide to give them to me, so I can give them new life. So, yeah, thank you again, Anne. It's like leopard print and stripes, leopard print and color stripes. Very strange, but I trust it will make nice flowers. Yeah, I got my whoop pad. Unlocked my first yoga. Unlocked my yoga first time. I can't wait to see the stats on my growth. Yay. Getting to have these little pieces of technology attached to us to help us take measurements. For me, it's been sleep that I've been very curious about. This thing tracks my sleep cycles, and I am learning things about myself. I am learning that I don't think I sleep well enough. I can now notice even by statistics how much I dreamed. Right, like I'll wake up one morning being like, "Goodness, I dreamt a lot last night," and then I can go and watch the statistics, and it's like, "Yeah, I spent 30 more minutes in REM sleep," and I'm like, "Interesting." I don't know if this information is helping, but it is something I'm grateful for. Yeah, that is what our whole stream topic is about today. Gratitude. Specifically, grateful. I think there's a difference between gratitude and grateful based on a verbiage alone, right? Sure. But I think the act of being grateful isn't the same thing as practicing gratitude, right? Because I can be gratituding towards someone for something. And I sometimes even overdo it, I think. Like I'll be over grateful. I'll say thank you for the same thing 5 times over. And I wonder if that is bad. Let's ask a language model. Let's ask. Let's see. Because I'm like this is definitely something I've experienced before where I don't mean that pompously, but like I literally over grateful. Like I do say thank you over and over again to the point of the other person potentially becoming a little bit uncomfortable. I'm having a conversation now about grateful and how being grateful can be a state that you can exist within, but in that way it can be so overwhelming that you communicate your gratitude excessively. Is it ever a bad thing to say thank you too many times for a person, to a person, for doing something for you or, allowing you to, for instance, stay at their home? Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. What a rich and nuanced exploration. Thank you. Wasn't asking for compliments, but gratitude as a state of being is a profound force. When authentically expressed, it can open pathways of connection, appreciation, and shared humanity. Like, yet, like all forces, its expression must be harmonized with context, intention, and the receiver's state of mind. Feels a little bit this feels a little bit much. I'm just gonna like skip all the way to the sweet spot where it goes gratitude as connection. Expressing thanks is about fostering mutual appreciation and not about overloading or over apologizing. A genuine thank you delivered with presence and warmth often suffices. Like I feel as I'm reading this, it's almost like becoming clear to me what it is about myself that forces me to say thank you, maybe even excessively so. And it's because in my family, gratitude and the expression thereof has often been very important, right? And often been underreported, where you might have said thank you, and then you would be accused of not having said thank you. Right. And that has happened to me a great deal many times. So my, I guess, reaction to that as an experience as a child is now to overthink. Balance words and actions. Instead of saying thank you 5 times, you might compliment it with a gesture, a small gift, an offer to help, or a meaningful acknowledgement of what their kindness meant to you. Yeah, yeah, I do like that. Can be overdone. Maybe saying thank you in 3 different ways could be the way as well. My sleep score is mega poor these days, less than 60% efficient, but I think I'm on the upswing, taking all kinds of antibiotics to clear my lungs and stuff. It'll be interesting to see the recovery stats too. Agreed. Imagining you sleeping properly, dear Jia. How can it be a bad thing to constantly express gratitude? That's today's question, Pojo. That's the thing we're supposed to know. That's the thing we're supposed to find out if there is something to find out there. I feel maybe it could be a matter of feeling bad for the other person, right? If someone is too grateful for something that you might consider arbitrary, you might end up feeling bad as a self or for that self because what is their circumstances like if they have to say thank you so many times to something that you consider trivial, right? And I don't know if that's necessarily how I was interpreted, but it could be because I was like at least the immediate thing that I am talking about this gratitude about is with Tines. When I went over to go and be a commentator, I guess, for the slapping competition, I asked him if I could stay at his home, and he allowed me to stay at his home. And then I said thank you on the phone call, and I said thank you on my way there, and I said thank you when I was there, and I said thank you when I was there again the morning of us leaving, and then I said thank you one more time when I said goodbye. Maybe he doesn't even think about it at all. Maybe I just said thank you once in his head, and me saying thank you over and over was exactly what I needed to do. It's that same Burby that sings that song. Oh, I can see him. I think that's a little finch. Just a little finch. Cheep, cheep. Alrighty. So, yeah, maybe it's just a matter of I want to tell you I'm grateful for you, right? And I do. I think I do. Sometimes excessively so. But since we are on a milestone stream, 1444, I feel the need, the drive, the will to just say thank you to you, friends. To say thank you for your support, to say thank you for your abundance, right? You friends have brought capital, to say it in so many words, money into my life that wouldn't have been there. And if not for that, then I wouldn't have had the opportunities I've had. I wouldn't have had the experiences I've had. I wouldn't have this thing in my hand, literally, if not for you, friends. All right, wouldn't be able to keep my water cold. Siobhan got me microphones that's projecting over this thing. This thing technically I got for myself, but the original one Christian bought me. So I'm imagining that it's still Christian who bought me that one. Like I feel like most of us probably don't need that much. And the fact that you friends have brought so much into my life is something that I am ceaselessly grateful for, right? I am grateful, like to the top, but then again, I wonder at what point does it become abrasive in expressing that gratitude. I'll just talk about it nonstop. Even if I feel excessive to constantly repeat it, even if it feels excessive to constantly repeat it, I truly believe that we should always be grateful for the gifts that others bestow upon us, and we should voice that appreciation. It's just a thank you. Yeah, it's just in general is probably falling short of. I don't think there's too much gratitude. Maybe improper way to practice it. Like we shouldn't practice gratitude over misfortune or ill intent. But being grateful is healthy, can't be too much healthy. What we project, however, is we have to be aware of how it is received. I completely agree. I trust at least. Like again, I spend way too much time in my own head, so I think about these things excessively. But I do trust that my gratitude is received authentically. Saying thank you. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you for your efforts in this world to make it keep spinning. Thank you for your kindness towards me to make me feel loved. Thank you for your acceptance. We shouldn't practice gratitude over misfortune. Thank you. There's so much of that, and it's hard to put into words how grating I find that behavior. Heat Lord asking me if this is a Dynavap. It is. It is, in fact, a Dynavap. Might look extra tinsy wincy. It is so nice and small. I love mine, but I keep burning the hits. Yeet Lord, just yesterday, literally, in stream, I was like having a conversation with a few friends. I overheated my Dynavap to the point of it being a charred mess in there. And then I sat painstakingly and I cleaned my Dynavap before continuing the operation thereof. It does make a little click. That lets you know it's hot enough. But I get it. I'm sorry you burn your hits, bro. It sucks. Like burning a Dynavap hit makes me legitimately question my own sanity of like, how did I ever smoke joints like it was normal, like it was something I enjoyed? How was that ever a thing? It's nice having you here, Eat Lord. Jovan saying hi to Eat Lord and Shamala Barmala Pojo's here with us too. Just as happy for you. Yeah, I want to get the eating coil. I feel like a little crackhead with the blowtorch. I felt like that too, bro. It does have some crackhead energy to it. I'm blowtorching something to the point of being hot. It does have that heating a spoon up with a lighter kind of aesthetic. The induction heater is definitely very quaint. We are like, oh, I'm putting it in here, and then something happened, and then it may click, and then I'm like, It is kind of nice. But this was a gift. Joe Bot Beep Boop, the person just underneath you, is actually the one. I think it's still a little bit hot. It's still a little bit hot. I put some of my own stickers on them though. And I put a piece of paper. This is actually a piece of cardboard at the bottom of it because this little rubber grommet will sometimes catch my Dynavap cap. It happened like once where I lifted my Dynavap out of the induction heater and I was like puffing on it and I was like, yes, this is the most airy hit I've ever hitten. And I exhale vapor to find zero vapor. And then I look at my Dynavap and I realize it's capless. We got Kitty joining us again. Yeah, yeah. And my cap is just stuck in the middle of this thing. And I was like, nay, this cannot be. I need to rectify. You're putting your ass in my weed. There's literally weed on this cat's ass right now. I'm so upset. You're gonna see. She's walking away. I want to show our friends the weed you got in your buttocks. I don't know if I am gonna regret vaping any more of it. So rude, yo. Like she took a bunch. She took a bunch with her. Mm, well, at least the weed is sticky, right? That's a good sign. I actually haven't done a vape for 3 days because the last time I burnt it, it super mega hurt. Yeah. Like I also spent some time coughing fitting yesterday. I now like err on the side of caution. I'll even if it potentially already clicked, just to make sure it does click, if it's gonna click. And then I'll even sometimes test with my fingers. If it's cold enough to touch, it's usually cold enough to have clicked and ready for more heat, but I get it. Yeah, sometimes it'd be cool for like 5 seconds, but if you pull too hard, it'll combust. It's tricky. True. I feel like it hurts way more than like a pipe. If you combust inside the Dynavap, I think I think it does. I wonder why though. I wonder if it's a like vacuum thing. Like maybe it does something else to the carcinogens. Maybe it's an expectation thing because the Dynavap is so light on your lungs that you're like, oh, this is easy peasy, and you're like, I'm gonna take all of this all the way in, and then suddenly it's smoke instead of just vapor, and you're like, oh, this hurts. This is hurting me. I like this. Jovan, there are bubblers and shit specifically designed to fit vapes. Maybe it's time to look into one of them. I mean, if you don't burn your Dynavap, that's not necessary technically, and it's more effort than it's worth sometimes running these things through water pipes. They are very nation and dainty. I do think I have large hands though as well. Yeah, Dynavamps. I think there's also just so little space in the tube that you're straight hot smoke from the fire. Yeah, it could be it as well. I smoked out of a bong straight when I was a teenager, and it feels similar. Checks out. Yes, if we were all able to do things perfectly the first time. The thing is, Sam, it's pretty easy to do it perfectly the first time. Like, right? That's just vapor. It tastes great. This is few two of the strain that I grew myself, and it tastes like white grapes. White grapes found like a homie that's called Herb Machine, and they like hanged out for a bunch. That's what it tastes like. Clicks again. Yeah, clicks again. And now it can go back to heat. Right? It's just a matter of paying attention, really. It's not a matter of doing it perfectly. It's just like paying. This is cycle 3. Woo! 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 Yeah, I'll do it. 1, 2, click. Has it already clicked? Yeah, I guess so. And that technically has some green left in there even. Mama didn't raise no quitter. I have a little bubbler that the induction heater works with. I actually super love it. True. I think it came with those little parts, right? Little bubbler pieces that you can attach to a bong if you wanted to, but I don't have any bongs. The last bong I had was the first bong I had. No, lie. The last bong I had was the second bong I had. made for me by a friend called Marlies. She was the then girlfriend of my friend Adam. She would take pieces of bamboo and then sculpt them into a bong. And she would use pieces of cannabis wood and she would shape those into balls and down stems. So it was all natural. And then she would use a piece of hot, I'll say, probably a soldering iron, but something hot. And then she would put these darkened, like designs on it. And mine was this tree of life with all of the symbols attached to it. Unfortunately, uh, it ceased working because it was made out of wood, and cleaning it was a nightmare. Big surprise. Is it hard to get bongs in South Africa? No, it's just hard to convince myself to purchase one. Yeet Lord, I am. I want to say I'm stingy. I don't think I'm stingy. I am just very peculiar about what I think is worth money. All right. Like some things I believe. So like let me just frame it like this. I only think we should spend money on things that are good for us, right? Or good for each other, good for our planet, good for our species. And like in that way, I try to be very low waste. I buy things and I try to use them and keep them for as long as I possibly can. And on the other side, I try not to buy things that are going to facilitate me potentially hurting myself, right? Where a bong, unfortunately, usually is used to smoke things. And since I stopped, I love marijuana like so much. Me and her have a great relationship with one another. But I realized that I can no longer justify the carcinogen load, the actual smoke, and I had to do something else. And in that way, when I stopped smoking, I got myself a Dynavap, and that was now basically a year ago. And my bong also broke around that time, so hasn't come up yet again. That was a fat hit. It's hard to get those off with a torch. Damn, yeah. I mean, like you even saw it in the wind and outside, bro. And and you could see the inside of the bowl as well. Like even now, I even hit it the second time, and I could taste the second time. Well, I want to say second, like the fourth time. I could taste the fourth time wasn't as flavorful anymore. But that's not charred. Right? That's far from black and. Oh, I'm thinking, how can I relate my understanding of gratitude to my understanding of how we're supposed to spend money? Right? Thinking about money as something we can spend, something that will make our lives and the lives of others better instead of worse. There's not a lot of things, at least, that makes our lives worse, but there are definitely some things. My mind has like a bunch of labels, but I'll keep those labels to myself. Those are my labels. I don't have to burden you with it. Oh, Bong sounds so hardcore. I call her a bubbler. That does sound nicer. You are right. Because she's little and dainty. She's not hardcore. I get you. Doesn't hurt to be mindfully frugal. I completely agree, Jean. Right. I feel I am, and me and Christian had a phone call last night, and that came up as a part of the conversation about how we are susceptible to influence. All right. And it was this joke about us being shaped by other people, by their ideas, by their opinions, by manana. And I go, Christian, like it was basically this year that I really started to acknowledge and admit to myself that I am influenced by other people. And he starts laughing at me. He's like, oh, yeah, really? Oh, wow. Who'd have guessed? And I agree, right? So, in that way, it's important for us to realize who we're associating with and who we're being influenced by. And in that way as well, I am definitely influenced by the side of reality that tells me I need certain things. I feel like if I'm being told by reality that I need something, it's car, right? That's like the thing. That's like the thing right now. It's like get car. How about car? There's so many different ones, and you want most of them. And again, like getting car. Yay, back again. Uh, I think the Starlink has like a 98.86% uptime, but then we do get like those momentary interruptions. They can be pretty brutal for the live streams. You were right, Yeet Lord, indeed. Your geoguesser skills are on point. I thought you knew that I'm in South Africa, but good guess. I am. I am. So, back to the whole fractal love, what it is we want. And is it frugal to want a vehicle? Right? Especially since there are so many. There are so many already. Right? There are so many of them. I'm just thinking about the amount of vehicles just standing still in warehouses, in parking lots, and in car fields, right? In scrap yards as well. Oh my goodness, the amount of cars just standing still, not doing anything. Right? It hurts. It hurts my soul a little bit, and I have again. Like we shared this a little bit earlier. I have this dream, this idealized vision for buying a car one day and then driving that car for 1,000,000 kilometers, right? 600,000 miles. I want to do that, right? Why not 1,000,000 miles? Why not? I don't want to buy another car ever again, all right? I want to be that 70-year-old guy that's still driving his 2026 model car. Sounds trippy to talk about driving a car that doesn't exist yet. But that car exists in the future. It exists. It has great range, at least 800 kilometers on a full charge, right? Ideally 1,000. Just for my pedanticness, I like round number, thousand big number, thousand bees, right? And then maybe after 20 years it will get reduced down to like 888 kilometers of range, right? And I'll say that yeah, I've been driving it for 20 years. I still have 888 kilometers of range in a charge. I'm really building. I'm padding out this manifestation. Okay. So ideally, it has two motors. Uh, 0 to 60 under 4 seconds. I don't need it to go under 3 seconds. Under 4 seconds is still blisteringly fast. I know, but again, this is gonna be like my car forever. It doesn't have to go faster than 160 miles an hour, right? In fact, I think that's like the upper end, right? Because they will be able to like limit your top speed just with buttons. Maybe I'll be able to hack my car eventually as well. I'm going too deep down this rabbit hole. Let's reel back. What else do I want? That's all I want, right? Of course, a heat pump to keep it cold in the inside of the cabin. Maybe it has a semi-decent center and console screen. And then, oh, actually, and there's one more thing: self-driving capabilities. Hey, talking about cars. We're just talking about cars, Whisper. I'm so sorry. That might be too much, but we're talking about how I would want to only buy one car once in my life, right? Maybe I'll not need cars anymore by the time I would want another one or whatever. But that to me is my idea of being frugal, right? Talking about being frugal. Because would it be, again, from this perspective of good or bad, would it be good for me and for my fellow person, for me as a person to own 20 cars in my life? All right. Is it frugal to own 10 cars in my life? Right. At what number is it okay? Because I guess, like this is where I'm coming from. I guess it makes some sense to get a new car when there are significant technological and safety standard improvements, where driving the newer car means that you are, relatively speaking, more safe on the road if something did have to happen. But I feel at this point, our safety standards have pretty much been established. All right. All cars come with airbags in them. All cars come with cameras and self stop and, like accident avoidance kind of software built into them. So we're like already kind of there for what a car could do for you, right? If something bad had to happen. And I am very lucky. I mean, I wanted to say I am very lucky to not have been in a car accident. I have been in multiple car accidents. None of them were my fault, at least. My dad driving with me in the car with him has been in three different accidents. First one was when I was a little kid. There were strikes on the road, and they were like putting a bunch of tires on the road and burning them and throwing people's cars with rocks and stuff. So my dad took a detour onto a dirt road, and then that dirt road had like a dip. And then after that dip, it came back up again, and the wheels were no longer on the floor. And then as it came down, lost control because it was in sand or whatever. And the car went tumbling. We crawled out of it and then watched it basically burn. Watched that thing melt. Literally, like there were like puddles of aluminium on the floor where that thing melted. Then second accident was on the way to Valville Park, a family get together. Is that what you call it? Maar toen was daai, mamma, toen ons Valville Park toe was vir daai familie ding. Is dit 'n toe ons Valville Park toe was vir daai familie ding toe ons in ongeluk was. Wat noem jy dit as ons by mekaar kom? Met family gathering. Yeah. I'm talking about how uh, you know, I haven't technically been directly responsible for an accident personally driving. And how we have now, like most modern cars have cameras built into them and accident avoidance, and they'll literally notice the car is coming up faster than it's supposed to and will hit the brakes for you, even if you're not paying attention. And that is the third way we were in an accident, where my dad was falling asleep behind the wheel and we rear-ended someone in front of us. That was on the way of me getting my Chinese visa, yeah, so I could go. Sad status. Hello. Give me a girlfriend. By the power vested in me as God of universe, I give sad status girlfriend. Yes, and so it be. I have such power. This is only the start of my power. It's basically what my job is, right? Right? Literally. Literally. Like it's cool. It's cool that you're here for this conversation. The technology that is now being put in cars would have, for the most part, avoided most of the accidents we've been in. Nee, nog iets intussen, nee. Love you. I'm checking if I'm asking anything else. Yeah. Grateful. Maybe that's what's to be said. I try to be extremely grateful towards my things as well. Right? Like this is a piece of matter. It is like this metal and plastics. That's basically it. Metal and plastics. Right? And these metal and plastics existed long before I did. They were on the earth, but it took us all this time to come to a point where we can constituate, bring its constituents into this form right in front of me. And everything has that story of, you know, technological innovation and engineering and deep understanding of how our universe works. And I am super grateful for these things. And puppy, come here. Let me love you. Y'all. I'm super grateful to be on this planet as we are. And I feel there's something special about holding things close because of how grateful you are for them. Joe says, I've had 4 cars. You! They weren't my dream cars, but it benefited me bunches to have mobility. Kind of doing what I can with what I've got kind of thing. I completely feel that, show. So like that's where I am in 2 minds, right? I am in the one mind of in the short term potentially buying myself a combustion vehicle, which like it actually hurts me saying those words, right? Because the self-righteous version of myself, the version of me that's holier than everyone, holier than thou, right? And I am embellishing, trying to like break that part of myself down because I know it can be overinflated. Wants to be able to say that I never bought a combustion vehicle. Oh yeah, remember when human beings used to put freaking dinosaur juice, combustible dinosaur juice into their vehicles and then would pollute the atmosphere heinously just to like move, just to like travel? Yeah, like they used to do that. And then I get to say, "Oh, not me though. Not me. Me so grand. Me so wonderful. Never bought one of those atmosphere poisoners." Takes a deep breath of relief. But maybe I'll have to. Maybe again, that is from a capitalistic perspective the most efficient thing to do. I could spend, and I could want to spend the next like year and a half saving potentially for an electric vehicle. But it might not be the most reasonable thing to do. Maybe I'll buy myself an electric vehicle when I'm 30. Setting new time horizons. 2028. They'll be pretty good by then. Again, the intention is to only buy one ever. Only one car ever, right? Like for example, this shirt that I'm wearing right now got bought the first week that I started doing these live streams, right? So in between day 1 and day 7 of doing this shirt got bought. It's day 1044 right now. It has gotten ridiculously faded, right? It's closer to gray than it is to its main colors that it used to be. Because of I do yoga in my clothes, and this part of the shirt didn't have the integrity necessary, right? And I still want to keep wearing the shirt because I love it and I make art out of my clothing, and I love the art that I get to make with these kind of patterns. They look good. They look good when you them. So gratitude, right? Being grateful, almost giving fullness to the things that you have by giving them grateful. Just googled interesting looking creature Joe would make a cool sidekick. Did I miss some context? I did. Pojo said, I woke up this morning and there's an adult Muscovy duck wandering around the yard. She won't fly and looks a bit disheveled. So I guess I have a flightless duck this week. Oh, that's so cute. Hey, Google, show me Muscovy duck.
Here's an image of a Muscovy duck.
Muscovy duck. A Muscovy duck. Muscovy? Very cool. Very dapper. Look at that dude. Yo. Got some sick hairdos. It's pretty cute looking. They do introduced feral populations. You got some introduced feral Muscovy duck, it seems, according to the Wikipedia's. Looking good is half the battle. Looking good is half the battle. Even though I kind of agree with you on that, I feel I can manage to look good even if I don't think I do. Right? Or maybe I'm just deluding myself. Jovan, she won't let me get close to her yet, but she's also not running off. So I'm trying to leave her alone for right now. That's nice. Giving her that space. Ducks are special little creatures. Bless you. Melty, she looks almost exactly like that one. Perfect. We get an accurate representation. I say combustion vehicle when you can from ability and to open opportunities. Then consider it an investment so that you can trade up and go electric when the time is right. It's a good point you're making, Jean. It is a very good point you're making. Mm. And it's not impossible to do, right? Like a cheaper car, an electric car is very expensive right now in South Africa. A secondhand 10-year-old combustion vehicle is going to be like 3,000. For a decent one, $4,000 max. So maybe that could be the short-term stopgap, just as you said, to open opportunities, because it is a matter of, as you said, mobility, having the freedom to just do what I want to do when I want to do it because I decide I'm doing this, and then having my car, getting to say my car. Oh man, it hurts me. It hurts me saying that even. Like I can't even say it yet, but it happened. My me, and then all of us can kumbaya because all of us have car. 8 billion car on planet Earth. All cars stand in driveway for 95% time, but all got car. Maybe I again it makes more sense to me when they're electric because at least then when they're standing in the driveways, they're plugged in and they can help balance our grids. They can become a part of the whole, actually serve a function when they're just standing still. I thought Melt was getting a van. That is also a part of the plan. That's also a part of the plan, Hoopy. I've dubbed it the Solar V. Yeah, Solar V, right? An RV that's solar, has extending solar panels on top, has big batteries, has electric motor. I drive vehicle for as long as I can until there's no more driving. I stand still. I set out my solar panels and I wait until my battery is charged again before I move on the earth once more. But again, right? Like if it okay, so like let's talk about like stopgaps. If owning a combustion vehicle was like 4 grand on the high end, owning an electric vehicle within the next 2 years is gonna be about 20 grand on the low end, right? 20 grand on the low end, 50 grand if you're getting like a really nice one. And then getting a electric van like that with all of those characteristics is gonna be like something you're gonna have to custom build for the most part, which means that you'll like again add like a factor where it's like maybe like 75 grand that you're gonna be paying for something like that. But maybe that is the way we have to do it. Grateful for you, Goo. Today's stream is about gratitude to the friends who have so graciously and so beautifully helped and supported this journey that we're a part of. So nice having you here. I was going to say, electric vehicles will be cheaper as time passes. Waiting for the time might pass. Waiting for that time might pass opportunities for you. But 200 characters and you get me, I do. Thank you for helping me realize what I can be grateful for. Yeah. Yes, exactly. They usually warm up when they learn about the snacks. Yeah, when she realizes you got food, I'm sure it'll change quickly. Maybe like getting her a bowl with a bunch of peas or something. I've seen them absolutely mow down on those. You gotta go, whole hog, hippie van adventure. That continues to be the plan. Yes. But it just might be time horizons kind of thing. We don't have the same access to resources just yet. Just yet. But we're getting there. I think after 2026, things will get significantly better for us because we'll do some of the work ourselves. I got a fluffy dog in my lap. That's something to be grateful for, Goo. It's nice having you here with us too, bro. Mm, got a fluffy dog, bless again. Electric motors, as well as alternative energy generation, are getting much more efficient than they used to be. Soon you'll be able to charge your car with a fold out solar panel and a bicycle. That's the dream, anyway. I mean, there's a company called Aptera. They have something like 43 kilometers. So 23 or 27 miles per day that you can get from the solar panels on your vehicle. It's made to be super efficient, looks like a dolphin. Only has 3 wheels, so less areas of contact, less rolling resistance. The large model with like a 90 kilowatt hour pack has like 1,000 kilometers of range, 600 miles, and with you getting like 43 kilometers, 20-ish miles per day in your car just from the solar panels on top of it. Realistically, you'll never have to charge it, right? Realistically, like that kind of is the dream. My dogs are amazing. Your dogs are mirrors of the amazing that you are. They really are. They show my love. That's a dream anyway. Yeah, it is the dream to be able to travel with the sun, because it's literally blasting down on us ceaselessly. And right now, for the most part, it's just a bummer. It's just a bummer to have the sun blasting you, right? It's like, oh, I don't like this. This sucks. Menene, right? However, if we're like harvesting all of this sunlight, suddenly it's a resource. Suddenly it's a good thing. But you still got to pay for insurance. Yeah, see, bro. Don't even get me started, dude. I want to pretend insurance doesn't exist. I want to pretend. I want to pretend though that insurance is not something that's real. Not something that's needed. That we are a society that so beautifully takes care of its own that we don't have to pay to be taken care of poorly, right? Yeah, I'm paying, and then when I claim from these people that I've been paying, sometimes for years without a single claim, I have to painstakingly explain to them. I have to like really convince them that I do in fact deserve to get this thing that I paid for. And then they're like, okay, bet we have come to a conclusion. We have decided that we will in fact pay you for your things, but we'll only pay you 60% of your things. And then you have to like be happy about that. And then you get to continue paying for insurance so that you don't have to have nothing instead of 60% next time something bad happens. 420K sand dollars. Yeah, for insurance. Dolphin cars. I step out to handle my cats and I come back to dolphin cars. Hey Google, show me the Aptera vehicle. Let's see. I think we completely butchered, but I mean, that is that is it. The side profile. All right, there's the solar panels on top of it. Like that. That is the Aptera. You've seen Jerry rigged everything's videos. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's American product, so we probably won't be seeing those in South Africa anytime soon. But also, that also is in my mind the car you buy once and then drive pretty much forever. You know, ideally. This fucking place. I guess the rate will vary depending based upon its ability to swim. I don't think they want you to drive those things in the water. Probably right. No, from probably some nuts. We got some creatures here on the sidelines tuning in as well. It's almost time for us to finish this vertical stream. We're almost gonna go horizontally. Was nice having this moment with you, friends. These streams have been fun. I feel like I definitely did go through a little bit of a dip a while ago where I was like, oh, I'm not happy feeling, right? But I am practicing gratitude instead. Gotta go do my beauty routine. Gavani goo, bruh. Yossi. Spare our world, dude. You more beautiful is literally a danger to society, bruh. Like, women will crash their cars, breaking their necks, looking at you driving by. I'm gonna reel it back a little bit. I get bless again. Ringleader Sam, you know we got stupid when you're not here to logic us all good and stuff. I blame Sam for abandoning us. Yes, it is in fact Sam's fault. There you go, Sam. You take full responsibility. Shimmy's responsibility over table. We're getting a bunch of flags. I don't know the first two, but I'm trusting the last one is Japan. What's the first two, Whisper? You know we can be left unsupervised. I'm the supervisor. Thank you very much. I'm the one supervising, and I'm supervising us down this shady alley. That Nelta, you're sure we're supposed to be here? No, when we're here now. Stay close. Filipina and Russian. Are you part Filipina, part Russian, part Japanese? Is this the information I am detecting you sharing in a whisper? Wait, what? I ain't taking blame for this. Wait. Yes, nice. Beautiful gap. Save some for the rest of us. Oh, dang. Melty is in charge? Yes, I am in charge. I am. I'm the one in charge. You're like, no, Mel, you're puts off stream. I'll charge in charge harders. I'm doing. So is everyone doing? I'm doing. I'm doing fine. I'm doing wonderfully. Have cat on sideline. Have dog on other one. Hey Pippi, what you doing? Hey Pippi. Hey Pippi. Hey Pips. Hey, hey. She's like, no, bro, I'm busy. And then she's doing too. I am doing the end of this vertical stream and starting up a horizontal one. It was a dear pleasure having you friends here. Kitty says, highs and byes to you too. I'll see you again soon. A moment from now. Love you, friends.